any pleasure in that at all. These are all worldly pleasures. The ultimate pleasure can only come from the source of everything, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ultimate happiness is a blessing that can only come from Allah. And it is related not to the body, but to the soul. Not to the jasad, but to the ruh. Just like the jasad requires nutrients and sustenance that come from the source of the jasad. Where did the ruh come from? What is the origin of the ruh? وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. They ask you about the ruh. What is the ruh? To this day we have no idea what the ruh is. Our medical instruments, our scientific equipment, despite its advanced achievements, to this day it cannot even detect the ruh. It can't even prove there's a ruh that exists. And Allah says, you have not been given anything of knowledge except a little bit. You don't even prove, you cannot even prove that the ruh exists using your equipment. But we do know one thing, where does it come from? قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. Say the ruh is from the command of Allah. The ruh is from the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore it originates in a way that is unknown to us from Allah. It is created, it is not a part of Allah. Some of the groups believe that the ruh is a part of Allah and we have an element of divinity within us. And I think the 5%ers also believe that as well, that there's an element of divinity within us. No, we don't believe that. We don't believe that. But we do believe the ruh comes from Allah. That the origin of the ruh is from Allah. Not that the ruh is Allah. No, it is not. But the origin of the ruh is Allah. Therefore, the sustenance of the ruh, the nutrients of the ruh, that which gives the ruh its life, that comes from Allah, not from this world. Because the body is worldly, its nutrients are worldly. Because the ruh is related to the divine, because the origin of the ruh goes back to the divine, therefore the nutrients of the ruh are that which come from the divine. Anything that comes from the divine, anything that re-establishes a connection with the divine, remembering Allah, worshipping Allah, believing in Allah, knowing Allah, praying to Allah, mentioning Allah's name, anything that you do that has to do with the divine, anything that has to do with Allah, it feeds the ruh. It feeds the ruh. And when it feeds the ruh, this is what makes the ruh alive. It gives the ruh a type of life that it doesn't have before. And this is what Allah says in the Quran. When He says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who believe, Istajibu lillahi walirrasul. Hearken and obey to the call of Allah and His Messenger. إِذَا دَعَاكُمْ لِمَا يُحْيِيكُمْ. When they call you to that which will give you your life. Let me repeat the verse. Obey the call of Allah and His Messenger when they are calling you to that which will give you your life. Now hold on a sec. Is Allah talking to the corpses and the dead people? Is He talking to the people in the grave and He's saying, come to me, I'll give you life? Or is He talking to me and you? Is He talking to people who are eating and drinking and walking and living on the face of the earth? Of course He's talking to us. Then are we not alive? We are alive in a bodily sense. Our jasad is alive, yes. But it is possible that the ruh might be dead. It is possible that a person cuts off the supplies of the ruh. A person does not feed the ruh until that ruh becomes mayyit. And that is exactly what Allah says in the Quran. أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيْتًا فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ. Give the example of the one who was dead, and we brought him back to life. Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, the famous Mufassir, said, the parable being given, the example being given, is not the one who was dead and Allah resurrected him, but rather the one who was ghafil, the one who was unaware, oblivious, heedless to Allah. And Allah gave him and guided him to Islam. Allah called the one who was devoid of Iman, Allah called him dead, mayyit. And Allah called the one who worshipped him, hayy. Allah called him alive. It is not that the jasad is dead or alive. The jasad is alive right now. A time will come when it is dead. But right now for all of us it is alive. But Allah is talking about a different type of life. A life that is above and beyond the worldly life that we know. A life that is spiritual. A life that is involving the ruh. And therefore, Allah says, hearken to the call of Allah and His Messenger when they invite you, when they call you to that which will give you your life, yuhyikum, your spiritual life. This is the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have. Brothers and sisters, how long will your bodies last? For how long will you live? وَمَا جَعَلْنَا لِبَشَرٍ مِّن قَبْلِكَ الْخُلْدِ. We never gave any human being eternality before you, Ya Rasulullah. أَفَإِن مِتَّ فَهُمُ الْخَالِدُونَ. If you are going to die, Ya Rasulullah, do you think that they will live forever? Do they think they will live forever when you are going to die? So no body will live forever. No jasad lives forever. What we want is that the ruh lives forever in Jannah. This is our goal. We want the ruh to live on. We want the ruh to have a full life. And the way we do it is by feeding it in this world. The way we do it is by taking care of it in this world. And that is why, brothers and sisters, that is why when we feed the ruh, when we sustain the ruh, that is what makes us feel alive.